Hey everyone, today we're going to discuss about graphing an exponential function. We've seen in an earlier video that we've discussed about the properties of an exponential function, and now we're going to graph them. So in graphing an exponential function, we will construct a table of values and connect it using a smooth curve. Remember that in our previous video, we've discussed the properties of an exponential function, and these properties must be satisfied when we graph them. Notably, remember that exponential function is increasing if b is greater than 1, and it is decreasing if b is in between 0 and 1. So let's have an example. Let's have f of x is equal to 2 raised to x. So from here, we will construct a table of values so that we would know how are we going to graph them. So let's have the x and y. We can have our table of values horizontally, that doesn't matter. So let's have our x's as -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. We get to decide what will be the values of x's since this is our independent variable. Then we will solve for the value of y. That's our dependent variable. Now, 2 raised to -2 is -1/4. 2 raised to -1 is 1/2. If you don't remember how to solve for this, please refer to the previous video that we just had. 2 raised to 0 is 1. 2 raised to 1 is 2. And 2 raised to 2 is 4. So these are our values of y given those x's. So we are going to solve for, we are going to graph for the exponential function. So if x is -2, then y is 1/4. So let's check it here. So let's focus our attention here. So this is our graph. If x is -2, then it is 1/4. So let's say it's somewhere here. There. And if x is -1, then our y is 1/2. Right here. If x is 0, then y is 1. If x is 1, then y is 2. And if x is 2, then y is 4. If you graph it, you can always adjust your graphing paper so that it becomes, we can change the intervals. As long as the intervals between the numbers are the same, it's okay to change the intervals, like this. So this is our points, and we can connect it using a smooth curve. So let's try to input the function here so that we would see that it actually passes through those points. F of x is equal to 2 raised to x. As we can see here, the graph passes through these points. So this is the graph of f of x is equal to 2x. Let's have another example. This is g of x is equal to 1/3 raised to x. So let's graph this exponential function here. So let's start first by constructing a table of values. So this is x and y. X is -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So let's solve. What is 1/3 raised to -2? So this becomes 1/3 raised to -2. This is, we get a reciprocal, that is 3 squared. So negative becomes positive, which is 9. So 1/3 raised to -2 is 9. 1/3 raised to -1 is 3. We just follow the steps here. We just replace the -2 as -1. So I'll show you the solution. So 1/3 raised to negative 1, it becomes 3 raised to 1, which is equal to 3. So I leave it up to you to solve for the value of y of x equals 0, 1, and 2. You try to work out for the solution of those. But anyway, the values of y if x is 0 is 1. The value of y if x is 1 is 1/3. And the value of y if x is 2 is 1/9. So let's try to graph this table of values. Okay, so let's graph. So negative 2, that is 9. So it's right here, negative 2, 9. If x is negative 1, then y is 3. So right here, 0, 1. 1 and 1/3. So we'll just have to make an estimate here. So it's somewhere here. Something like that. Here. And 2 and 1/9. So probably right here. We just have to make an estimate since it's really hard to graph because it's really small. So let's confirm our graph by actually typing it. G of x is equal to, by the way, we're just going to connect these 5 points here using a smooth curve. So g of x is equal to 1/3 raised to x. As we can see here, this is the graph of g of x is equal to 1/3 raised to x, and it passes through all these points here. And it's asymptotic to the x-axis. So that's just how we go about in graphing an exponential function. We just construct a table of values and connect it and make sure that the properties are being observed. We will see in our next video that sometimes it's not the x-axis who's the horizontal asymptote, and there are some graphs which does not pass through 0, 1. And that's what we're going to discuss next time about the behavior of an exponential function. So I hope you learned a lot today, and thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.